We are going through exercise 18E, and in this video we're going to go through question 13, which says a rectangular block is such that the sides of its base are a length of x centimeters and 3x centimeters. The sum of the lengths of all its edges is 20 centimeters. So whenever you're given these optimization questions, the first thing you should always try to do is give it a draw. So step number 1, let us draw this thing. So we're drawing a rectangular block. So let me begin by drawing a rectangle like this. Let me try that again. It's going to look something like this and like that. And then we're going to draw it back so it becomes a block. Draw a line like that. See if we can do that again. Perfect, that's a little better. And then we're going to draw it down and draw it across like that. Perfect. Now that we've done that, let's label the sides. So it's going to have the base are a length of x centimeters and 3x centimeters. So the longer one we'll obviously call 3x. The shorter one we'll call x. So these are the lengths of the base. Now for the height, we're just going to call it h because we haven't been given anything to denote that. So we have drawn it. Fantastic. Let's just move it over to the side a little bit here. Let's just move that over here. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is consider this sentence, which says the sum of the lengths of all its edges is 20 centimeters. So that means if I was to plus all the edges together, it's going to be 20 centimeters. So let's figure out what that would be. So I'm going to have, and actually let's extend this to the back so we can see all the sides. So I'm going to just draw this down like this. And so just so we can see through the box here. Ooh, this might not, oh, is this gonna still look pretty? Because this looks pretty good at the moment. All right, that's as good as it's gonna get. All right, hopefully that's clear there. Not the best in the world, but our graph doesn't have to be that good because we're just using it for our own understanding. So now I'm just highlighting everything with the same length. So everything I'm highlighting in blue here has a length of 3x. And as you can see, there's 4 of them. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm going to say, I have 4 times 3x, and let me highlight that in blue so we know what it corresponds to. So let me highlight that in blue here. And then I'm going to plus my next highlighting portion, which let's make that x. So I'm going to highlight everything with the length of x here. So let's highlight. This is such a pretty picture. Okay, so I have 4 again. So I'm going to plus 4 times length of x. So multiply that by x, and let's highlight that in green so we know what it corresponds to. And now let's do our lucky last. So that will be my height of y. The vertical one's always the hardest to highlight. Perfect. All right. That's what it's going to be. They're all my y heights. My h height, sorry. Height of h. Did I say y? So I'm going to plus 4 times h. And all of that is going to be equal to 20 centimeters, like that. All right, let's now tidy this up. It's going to be 4 times 3x is 12x, plus 4 times x is 4x, plus 4 times h is 4h, is going to be equal to 20. I then am going to plus these together, so 16x plus 4h is going to be equal to 20. I might even try to simplify that a little bit. I can divide both sides by 4, which means I'm going to be left with 4x plus h is going to be equal to 5. And that right there is a nice little equation that I am sure is going to be very useful later on. So notice that we haven't answered any questions yet. We are literally just kind of contemplating the question itself, drawing it out, figuring out an equation here based on what they've told us. Let's now move on to the questions. So let me come over here and let me move this up. Here is A. So A is saying, show that v centimeters cubed, so show that the volume is given by this right here. So if I was to write down what my volume is going to be based on my diagram here, well, it's just going to be my this times this times this. So it's going to be 3x multiplied by x multiplied by h. So that is going to be 3 x squared h. That's going to be my volume. When we compare it to what they've given us here, what you notice is that we've only got one variable here, x, while over here we have two. We have x and h. So obviously what I want to do is get this in terms of just one term. I just want it in terms of x. To do that, I'm going to have to utilize this right here. So let me just kind of divide this up for a second. I'm going to write this so it's h equals. So this is going to be h equals 5 minus 4x. So I just minus 4x to both sides. Now I'm going to put this h value into here. So let's do that. So I'm going to get volume is equal to 3x squared. And now I can put this here, 5 minus 4x. Let me now expand this out. So it's going to be, my volume is going to be equal to 15x squared minus, this is going to be 12x cubed. And just like that, hopefully you can see that this right here, v equals 15x squared minus 12x cubed, is the same as here. V equals 15x squared minus 12x cubed. It's the same. Perfect. So we have done part A of this. Let us now keep moving. We'll come down. Let us now do this. Find B. So now B is asking us to simply do the derivative. So to find dv dx, this isn't too hard. All we do is 2 times 15, which is going to be 30x, and I'd subtract 1 from my power there, and then I do the same on this side, which is going to make this negative 30x x squared. And just like that, I have done my differentiation and achieved it. So I'm going to leave that there for the time being. If I wanted to, I could simplify this a little bit, and I might not simplify rather, but factorize. I could take out a common factor of 6x, which would leave me with this 5 minus 6x. And that's just a little bit prettier. I'm going to stop this video here because we've done the first 2 parts. And then in the next video, I'll go through the other few parts. So hopefully everything I've done here makes sense. Nothing too tricky here. Well, once you've done it, it doesn't appear too tricky. If you don't know what to do, it seems tricky. So I shouldn't say that, should I? Okay. I'll see you in the next video.